Well, good day, all. Ira Epstein, and here we are with your financial market wrap-up. And your wrap-up is for Wednesday, and we're at the 22nd of August, 2023. If you're in the Midwest, in the Corn Belt, soybean belt, you know you're burning up. The weather is getting hot. We'll see what these markets want to do with it. The crop tour is going on from Pro Farmer. It goes through Thursday, and then we'll get all the numbers together on Friday, and then you get to go there. Look what it looks like. Here's the sizes. There's what I see. The elephant in the room tomorrow, after the close, is NVIDIA's earnings. It's really that simple. And overhanging everything, the planet Earth, is the Fed. You're getting now your different members starting to roll out. We're going to get a lot of Fed talk day after day as it all leads up to the Jackson Hole meeting, which begins again on Thursday. It's Thursday, Friday, and we will see all the speakers, get ideas. Everybody's going to hang on every word on the 9 a.m. Central Time speech by Fed Chair Powell. Question and answer periods through the different people that interview people will be hung on. I don't expect him to do anything but stay where he was. He's a pro at this. They're data dependent. Every meeting's a live meeting. Labor market's unusually strong and resilient. The economy's in good shape. We are starting to see inflation slowdowns on the headline. The core's a bit sticky. Service industry strong as can be, and he's pleased to see that they're seeing the first sign of wages starting now. If you're going for a new job, you're probably not getting the offer that you could have got 6 months ago from that company, as they don't have to pay as much, and why not? They've got all their helpers. Plus, as the interest rates impact the lag and the continually rising interest rate, which the Fed isn't doing. It's the Treasury that's doing this now, as they're getting their billion-dollar funding. Remember, that's what Ms. Yellen said she had to do, and they're doing it. You look each day to see how many billions they're putting out there and at what rate. Today was a 17-week auction. Then you get the 20 years, the fives. You get the tips cards. You get a little bit of everything, but to attract all the money from everywhere. By the way, you can bid on some of these, I think, for as little as $100. I don't know if you're aware of that. But in order to get it, they got to raise rates, and that's what they're doing. So are you noticing each day that the futures markets keep falling, basically, and we'll see it here in these charts, but they got down now to the Bollinger Band, and you know how important I think that is, and the market bounced from it. Okay? That's what you typically do. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. You either bounce or you latch onto it, and we get that Gorilla Glue type trade that I talked to you about. Gold recently had one, and now it's going sideways. It left that part of it. So markets go through personality changes, and you've got to work with it, all right? The consumer's got problems. They are piling on debt. Debt isn't cheap. Their expenses around them, as much as everybody says inflation is falling. Have you gone to the grocery store? I do. I don't think it's falling. I see that there's problems in the retail division, be it Macy's, Dick's Sporting today had it. We're not blind. We see the things going on. A new word for us, shrink. It doesn't mean that things are getting smaller. It applies to theft, not things falling off a truck like we heard with the mafia years ago, the Sopranos and things like that. No. This is people coming in of all walks of life, stealing from stores. And it's become huge, and it's impacting bottom lines. So my advice to you, number one, be very careful. There's probably cameras everywhere. And as inadvertent as it might be, pay your bill. All right. So when I look at the S&P, the one thing I started telling you over a week ago, well over, I think the market might be headed back to challenge the 18-week average of closes. I could be wrong. You've been as low as 43.72.5 already, okay, on the weekly chart. The settlement, though, is what you got to do, and it hasn't done it. You've hit it on price. You haven't hit it on a settlement, okay? When I come to a daily bar chart, and that was the weekly of just closes, You can see how the market's worked itself in layers. Ratchet 1, ratchet 2, ratchet 3. That's the way to approach it. When I put the swing line on, oh, and by the way, today I redid my first chapter in my new course on charting. So I did my last course, might be 7, 8 years ago. And that one will be gone. I'm replacing it with a whole new course that I'm now have begun. So officially have begun doing it. My goal is to have it ideally ready before Christmas. You'll be able to buy it at a great price, and then I'll ratchet the price right on up. So it'll be there. I today did the PowerPoints for the swing line. Then I will go in and do the chapters with examples and show you how you do all this, and you'll get a whole education. Why do you want to know this? Do you not see that every time you turn on Bloomberg, CNBC, Fox, whoever it is, and you watch the financials, they go, oh yeah, that market's got a pattern of lower highs, lower lows, or it's making higher highs, higher lows all the way through. They're talking trends. But how do you know where that high and low is? That's what I ask them. I can put a room of 10 people. They won't get the right answers. All right? Some will get it, some won't. It's not constant. It's hard to miss here. The swing line study does it for you. It shows you where peaks and valleys are. So until the market gets back through that number, you have a pattern of lower highs, lower lows. If we take out today, which is Tuesday's number, remember, we're already at Wednesday, then that number's going to drop down to there. And I know where, if it's broken, I've broken that pattern. So it's the first thing, and it's so important. The second, where might markets go? Well, we know we had a market that collapsed. Maybe the 100-week average is the big support. Where's the resistance? I can tell you that right now. It's going to be the 44.80 level. Where's the Bollinger Band, where a market trades within these bands 95% of the time? They're right here. So what the market was doing is it rode the band down, got over here, didn't quite get to the 100-day average, just missed it by fractions, and it's giving you a bounce. Big supports 43.50 to 43.44. Could that be hit? Sure. Does it have to? No. Have we come down hard already? Oh, yeah. You were up here in the 4,600 level, and you're back down into the 43.50 area, right? So we know where you're at. When we take a look at the micro mini S&P in terms of momentum, uh-oh. What do I mean by that? What's that red number doing? Now, if we go back a day, and I want to do that right now. Today, Tuesday, we closed at 20, not over 21. You're on the cusp of losing the embedded reading. If it's lost, I don't think you'll go down to these numbers. I think you'll make your run to the 18-day average instead. So it's my momentum guide. Do I think momentum leads price? Absolutely. Do I think it does it every time? No. Do I think it does it most of the time? Yep. What do I mean by most? Probably, in my opinion, 80% or more. From looking at it for, I don't know, when I learned it 35 years ago, been doing this 50 years. I really believe that's the case, and I see enough instances of it. But if you lose that bearish momentum, you open the door to go back up here before you take out that low. Enough said. In the NASDAQ, you already lost it. Fait accompli. Just let me show you the way. I love when we do this. All right. Here you close 1999 Monday. Today is Tuesday. Today, you lose the embedded reading. Can you get it back right away? Only the day after you lose it, which would be today's trade. If it's not what the market normally does before you get down here, you're going to make a run to the 18-day average, and that'll be the first target and the resistance point of the market. See if it can do it. Hasn't done it yet. Dow's not trying to do it. So if you were to push me, which one of these Ira you want to sell? It has to be this one. Do I want to sell it against the first challenge of a 100-day average? Not with my enemy's money. Doesn't mean it can't go lower. Not with my enemy's money. What about this market, the Russell? Same thing. First challenge of the 200 and 100-day. Am I content sidelined right now? Yeah. Why? Because of Jackson Hole and NVIDIA. Those two elements are going to move stock indices in a big way. NVIDIA is the poster child of artificial intelligence and chips. Two elements. You want to pay attention. What it does is the Goliath in the room. It could be a $1 trillion company, $4 trillion company. The market just keeps adding value to this. It's unbelievable. I saw analysts, one after the other now, 800, 850, the big numbers are coming out. But that's what you do. Remember, when the market's going up, you're always moving higher. Oh, no, that's not enough. It's got to go to 1,000 now. That isn't enough. It doesn't matter about PE because you're the first guy in the game. You have the pricing power, and you're the only one that can really do it at this point. It's your game for a short while. That's reality. The T-bonds, you got to the Bollinger Band. As far as I'm concerned, it's due for a bounce. Am I bullish? Oh, no. Not even close. That red line has to close over 21 to make me think you got to be out of shorts. What do I think you got to do on rallies? I think you have to sell the market. Do I have the guts in front of the Fed and NVIDIA? I don't. Just simple reality. What do I tell a client if Fed Chair Powell says something? I have a philosophy. You don't go in the Fed meetings, especially ones that could be highly volatile. Well, this is a big event. And Jackson Hole has a history, the word is history, of Fed chairs making statements that move markets. That does not mean each meeting has that. Please understand it. It's got a history, be it a Volcker, be it this one, the past ones. It's got that history. Does not have to happen. That's all that I'm saying. But why do I want to stand in front of that freight train coming down the road and think I can jump smart enough for it? I know you can. I can't. I'm older. See how it's just coming there? I'm still in the bear camp. I'm in the bear camp. I'm looking for a bounce. Got to the Bollinger Band on all these. I'm looking for the bounce, but boy, I am still fully committed. Now, in the dollar, this is one market I do have clients in. I'll share that with you in terms of a recommendation. And we'll see if it works. I told them we're out if the red line closed under 79. I told them to cut their position down yesterday, cut it in half. If we're going to go into the 9 o'clock meeting on the Fed, I have to make a decision. I have another 2 days. I have 48 hours to make that decision, Wednesday and Thursday. I am inclined to never go into those things. Why? You can't see it because my jacket hides it. I'm full of holes. I'm like Swiss cheese. If anybody's ever done everything wrong, I want to be at the head of the line. It's probably me. It's how you learn. And you write journals, you learn, and you go, you think about trading. You're either right or wrong. You got a 50-50 chance. How come you're wrong so often? Euro? Nah, you want to be covering shorts down here. Same way, same thinking. The pound, narrowed into a sideways market as everybody is waiting to see what does the Fed say and other central bankers. It's not only our Fed that meets here. You have a lot of economists. You have a lot of people from all over that show up. You're going to get a lot of ideas starting on Thursday. Bloomberg does a phenomenal job of covering this. They put the people there. They do it. They're my station of choice to watch it. CNBC's there as well, but I'm telling you, that's my favorite. And good questions come out of them. Bitcoin. If gold got hit, how could this not, when you're fighting interest rates right now? Trading volumes down dramatically, nothing but disappointments to it because the SEC is still fighting a case. They've decided to go back in, and they've not given any approval. It's a rough game. You can give me all the bull news, like Coinbase became a futures commission merchant, which I think is great. Now they can't advertise with craziness about them. Everything that division does is going to be controlled. I like it, okay? I told you, if it's going to be a legit thing, you got to get it where the government controls it. Penny stocks, do you remember those? Futures. I grew up in the cowboy age of the 60s, all right? With this, I saw it there in the 70s. It was just taking off. Come on, I know what I speak of here. And I'm for these controls. I'm for the regulation. I'm for cleaning the game up. I'm for not making crazy statements that people go, oh, but that broker, he told me I can do this. I watch how people post on my YouTube channel. If you call Mary, whatever her name is, I'm making $15,000 a week. Just give her a call and she'll get you that money. Are any of you that stupid? I don't think so. I think you're bright people. I take them off as fast as I see them. You know what? They should be barred from that, and Zucker should do something about it. All right. November Brent. Lower highs, lower lows. Terrible. Now what's going on? Why is this market not acting bullish? Well, it can if the highs of Tuesday are taken out. But let me tell you, I saw today a person from Citi. And he came on, and I didn't realize this. He made it very clear, had all his facts showing what the tankers are bringing. And while Saudi Arabia has cut 1 million barrels a day, Iran has picked up and is now at 2.2 million barrels a day of export. They've gone up 1 million barrels a day. They're allowed to. They're not part of the OPEC control on them because of the U.S. sanctions. They're not violating. What they're violating is who they're selling it to is probably our trade partners. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Okay, that's it. Did you take a look at what happened with the U.S. Baton ship? Did anybody see what I talked about the other day? We have we're putting warships in the Strait of Hormuz to try to protect tankers and putting Marines on ships. Apparently, Iran wanted to show who can really run the Straits. And they set waves, and I use the word, this is the article, and there's supposedly videos on it, waves of drones, speedboats at the ship, helicopters that were up front hadn't land. Can you imagine you're getting hundreds of drones coming at you? You can't shoot them down fast enough. Land the helicopters. And this drone warfare is changing the world. It is something to deal with. I would imagine if you get a radio frequency of some type, you can stop that. WTIs, lower highs, lower lows. See what the market is doing here? Maybe you're going to go there. But nothing's looking bullish right here. Gasoline not acting good. Everything on the energy market, including nat gas with all this heat that we're having. Texas, Arizona, now the Midwest, records in the Midwest. Some of this is going to move east. No, we're still not able to lift price. When you can't lift price and you get bullish events, you want to be bearish. You got that? You got to think about it. So that's where I think you're at. Again, one of the areas that I think you should pay attention to is right here. Trading the S&Ps, the NASDAQ, the Russell, the Dow, all with the micro stock indices. They're 1/10 the size. That's where the volume is now, okay? The big boys don't even trade the big contracts anymore. This is where your volume is. People laughed at it because I remember petitioning. I would go to meetings with people at the Merck saying, we need a small contract like this. And we got it. And it became a monster. They have to do this with others, by the way, too. If they can do it, they'll get traction behind it. But it's $5 a point. Look at this. So you get a minimum ticket. It's $1 or 50 cents. I think you can handle that. Now you're in the game. That doesn't mean you loosen up your rules in any manner. You keep your rules for trading as they should be. We give you $1 a side commission plus the exchange and NFA fee. It's a good deal. How do you get it? Call my staff to get you all the paperwork, 866-973-2077. You can visit iraepstein.com/micro. All the information is there as well. I'm Ira. You have yourself a great day, and I will talk to you tomorrow.